2016 or something like that. That sounds right. But he's coming back for an evening with Charlie Sheen and a screening of Major League. It's going to go down at MGM Northfield Park Center Stage on Friday, April the 28th. Live stories, conversations, audience Q&A. The tickets went on sale this morning. Tickets VIP meet and greet packages, those are available too. Go to Ticketmaster.com. I'll give you the last pair of tickets I have here this week. Evening with Charlie Sheen, screening of Major League, end of April out at MGM Northfield Park. Caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
The jokes aren't clever, but hey, at least the delivery sucks.
The Alan Cox Show
On 100.7
WMMS.
One of the Metallica albums that Metallica fans hate the most. They did an album with Lou Reed called Lulu that was pretty bad. But most Metallica fans will agree that they hate Saint Anger. You can count on one hand. This album's 20 years old now. This is the last song on it. You can count on one hand the people who like Saint Anger. And I am one of them. Even as a drummer, my drummer friends were all aghast at what Lars had done. It sounded like he was playing on garbage cans the whole album. I liked it. I think admittedly it was a Pro Tools album. There's a lot of stuff being done on that album that you'll notice they haven't really been able to replicate live. Metallica still gets really defensive when people piss on Saint Anger, but they also know that the audience really isn't that into it. You know, they don't play a lot of Saint Anger songs, if any, if you see them live. They're doing that tour this year and next year where they're doing 2 nights, 2 separate sets. We sent people to Detroit for the shows this fall. Over the course of 2 nights, they're probably going to do a couple of tracks from Saint Anger. But the album is also smack dab in the middle of Rolling Stone's 50 horrible albums list. And I love these kinds of lists because obviously they're completely subjective and whatever, but it does remind you of some albums that maybe you don't think are that bad. And I always think of Saint Anger. I love Metallica, and I didn't heap the same criticism on Saint Anger that a lot of people did. So Rolling Stone has got an article called 50 Genuinely Horrible Albums by Brilliant Artists. So it's basically the people who are the best at what they do and what they consider to be their worst album. So you've got John Lennon and Yoko Ono. You know, what was Bowie's worst album? The worst Kiss album. Everybody knows what that is. It's The Elder. There is no great genius without a touch of madness. So Metallica smack dab in the middle here. The Bridge by Billy Joel is on this list.
See, I don't know the whole album, but Matter of Trust and Baby Grand are great songs. So I don't even
I agree.
say it's a terrible album if you have some great songs on it.
Van Halen 3. That was the one album they did with Gary Cherone. And again, I'm a Van Halen fan too. There were a couple of good songs on Van Halen 3. Fire in the Hole is a great song. It was just you couldn't get your head around the third iteration of Van Halen. So there's a little something for everybody on this list. It's worth looking into. REM's Around the Sun is on there. Saint Anger is smack dab in the middle. Cut the Crap from the Clash. I like that album a lot. The very top of the list, number 1, which might be a little unfair. I think maybe it's an editorial thing, is Yay by Kanye West. Is number 1 on their list of 50 horrible albums by fantastic artists. Because to me, that says more about like what Kanye kind of is now as opposed. I mean, Ye is 5-6 years old, but I don't know. Velvet Underground, the first Pantera record, where they still had hairspray. A lot of people don't realize, if you're a Pantera fan, but now that they're going, the reconstituted Pantera is one of the headliners for Incarceration, and it's Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown, but Charlie Benante filling in for Vinnie Paul, and Zakk Wylde filling in for Dimebag. But before they were Cowboys from Hell, they had the hairspray and everything. They were kind of a B-list hair band. They were all teenagers.
What was that? What was that Green Day album that came out a few years ago that they went in a completely different direction and sound more like Fall Out Boy? I'd put that on this list.
I don't know. What did they do?
It's their latest album.
Oh, the latest one.
I believe it's their latest album.
No, what's the latest one called? I'd have to look it up. I don't remember what the latest. So you're saying that their brand new or their newest album is the one that you don't like?
It doesn't sound like Green Day.
Father of All Mother Effers?
That might be it.
2020?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, because Butch Walker produced it, and he's a pop producer.
Yeah. Play a little bit of it.
Okay. We played some song from that here.
It did not catch.
Need to find all of them. Father. Okay, here we go. Fire Ready Aim. What was the one that we played? I think
it was Fire Ready Aim.
Hold on. Because these guys like to curse, too, so I need to make sure that...
It should be in...
Well, here, this is the title song.
Yeah.
And I liked this. It had like a Raconteurs vibe.
Right. Yeah, it's so different than anything Green Day's done before. That you're like, this is Green Day?
Plus, when you've been around that long, you can dick around and,
I understand why they did it. They've made, a dozen albums.
Right.
But this one's just so different.
I like it.
I don't mind it at all.
It's just so different than their other stuff that I was taken aback by it.
This sounds like Girl Like You by Edwyn Collins.
Green Day, BACDC.
You want the same record all the time from them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this one at all.
Well, yeah, listen, man. I'm surprised. I don't think this is on that list.
I feel like this album's kind of under the radar, so.
Well, there you go. They haven't put out something. They haven't put out a new full length since in 3 years, almost to the day. That was February 7th, 2020. Anywho, I like when they do, and they're silly. People love lists, and they're just dumb and subjective. But that always makes me laugh. Metallica jumped at me just because I'm a Metallica fan, and people in that fan base famously hate St. Anger.
Well, it's also one of those things, too, where so many artists, or just the way people consume music now, they're not consuming albums. So that's why, like, a lot of the albums that are on this list are from quite a while ago. Because,
like Weezer, Raditude.
Yeah, you're listening to playlists, or you're listening to, the songs that you like. You're not buying the album and playing it all the way through like you did when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us bought an album, and because we bought it, we were like convincing ourselves that, like, oh, this is a good album, just because we owned it.
I didn't start.
We're lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't really buy albums. The only albums I buy are of comedians.
But I'm saying, like, when you're a kid, like when you're younger and you bought like a CD.
But the only CDs I bought I knew I would love, like Backstreet Boys or John Mayer or,
I remember like taking a chance.
And I also never really bought full CDs too, because I was heavy in the burning era where we were making our own mix CDs. So I had 18 of my favorite songs on them.
I could be wrong about this, but the last concert or the last CD I remember buying was Vanessa Carlton. I don't know if that's the last one, but that's the last one I remember buying. I bought a Pink CD, like her Misunderstood album.
Yes.
And then I bought the Vanessa Carlton CD, and then after that, I think I started like burning CDs as well. But I had that Vanessa Carlton, that 1,000 Miles.
Like I really liked the band Harvey Danger because of that one song, because they're like a one-hit wonder. And then I listened to the rest of the album, and I'm like, these are good too. But I was like forcing myself to do it, just because I paid for the album. So you just gotta suffer through them all.
You saw Pink's coming, Poundcake?
Pink's coming to Cleveland?
Yeah.
She's coming out for a tour. But see, that's the thing, though. I liked her first album and then her Misunderstood album, and now her music is just so
popular. Oh,
well, yeah, it's pop music, but she always kind of did pop music. This is different. It's very bubblegum. It's very in your feelings. Like, you're perfect. Like, blah, blah. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you call somebody a dusty dude or like stupid girl.
But she's an older woman now. She's been married. She's got kids.
So
like,
what? Well, Stefani's still doing the old stuff.
Yeah, and it's silly.
Jennifer Lopez still doing the old stuff.
But it's silly.
No one wants to see a Pink Super Bowl.
Nobody wants to see Gwen Stefani call herself a hollaback girl either.
Yes,
she's
they
52.
do.
No, they don't.
Mary, do you want to see her call herself a hollaback girl?
I mean,
you want to hear her play the songs. Sure, they're great songs. But what I'm saying is, anybody who expects an artist to stay the same, the songs didn't disappear. They're still going to perform them. But when they do new things, it's not going to sound like.
But that's the thing. Her first album was, I understand, probably more urban than she wanted it to be. I get it. She's allowed to change and evolve. But she's not, it's like she evolved and then just stayed the same. Like, she changed 3 times.
She evolved and stayed the same?
She evolved into who she is now, and her music has not changed since then. She has not had
She's got a final form.
A career change. Yeah, honestly, it's like she hit her final evolvement, and then her music is the exact same. It's the exact same every album, just different words. The theme is the same.
Words like evolvement?
She just talks about trauma and therapy. Her dad being divorced.
Yeah. All right.
I'm like, all right, we get it. You're an unhappy white lady with kids. We get it.
Wow.
I mean, at least Kelly
so
Clarkson.
Salty about Pink. Anyway, Pink at the Romo Fijo November 8th with Group Love and Kid Cut Up.
I'm probably going to go.
I bet Kid Cudi loves that.
Mm,
what?
Right.
So I'm probably going to go and get a box.
You're going to go and get a box.
I'm gonna get a box.
I think my morning.
That's interesting. Group Love's open.
Singing about dusty dudes. I love all these bands that had like one hit 10 years ago and now they're back on the road again. Like, yeah, it's wild. Good for them.
Now, Group Love's got a pretty good following.
I guess. They had like one hit. And
one radio hit, but...
Well, that's what a hit is.
Right, but they I think they had more than one radio
They had
hit.
Tongue Tied, and
Yeah.
I think after that they were,
God,
they're good. I mean,
it is crazy to think like that was 10 years ago, because
Yes.
I was like, this new band Group Love, and it's been a decade. So not connected to new music.
Yeah, well, it's fine. And you get to expose yourself to a whole different group of people, potentially. The Trust Fall Tour. Hey, listen, Pink does a lot of work on stage. Rapping herself. She's always getting hurt. She's going to end up with
Doing all that
CTE.
wire work.
Yeah, she's coming down off ribbons and stuff. Like she's trying to get the silver in the Olympics. But anyway, that was a show that made me think of Poundcake. I didn't realize he was going to be
He's got opinions.
so
man.
down on her.
Yeah.
He wants to hear about dusty dudes. She's going to sing those.
No, she won't. I bought her album, and that Misunderstood album was so good. Just Like a Pill.
It really was.
I'm Coming Up, or not, Party Started. What's it called, Mary?
Get the party started.
I'm coming up, so you
Get the party started.
Okay.
Hey, baby.
She had a bunch of other ones.
Who Knew is her best song?
No.
Yes.
Who Knew
You're
was pretty
correct.
good.
Family Portrait.
Best song.
Family Portrait was a really good one.
You guys just like that because you got broken families.
Yeah. So. It speaks to people differently.
Pink
all right?
was the glue
Mary.
that put our family back together.
What?
Don't Let Me Get Me was my
Don't
favorite
Let Me
song.
Get Me was a good one. Just Like a Pill.
Teachers dated me.
My
My parents hated me. I was
Oh,
always
God.
in
Wait.
a fight.
He can take a song. I wouldn't know if the song's good because the way he sings it ruins it.
Because I can't do nothing right.
See, that's why you liked it.
Alan, I saw Lenny Kravitz open for Pink at Blossom.
What?
All right. Well, good for him.
Did his wiener pop out?
I bet it did. I think that's in his contract. I bet when Lenny Kravitz goes on tour now, because the dude is like, he's shredded. He lives on an island. He's eating guava all day long and bench pressing logs. You know, so, I mean, this guy's living the life. And so I think it's in his contract when he goes on the road, hey,
I'm going to split my pants open.
I'm going to split my pants open, and because the Prince Albert needs some air, don't everybody get all snippy about it. Pardon the pun. Okay. Now, listen, I like Lenny Kravitz, too. But, Alan, you got to remember when it comes to all, you guys were talking about Bruce Willis. Do you remember the return of Bruno? Remember that?
No.
Okay, so when Bruce Willis, because part of him being an actor is that he always fancied himself this blues harp player. He had a real bad case of the Blues Brothers kind of thing. So when Bruce Willis was really blowing up in the late 80s, they let him do whatever he wanted to do. And he put out an album, and then there was an HBO special that went with it called The Return of Bruno, because when he was famously a bartender in New York, that was his nickname, was Bruno. So he does an album of like blues covers.
Ooh.
And, well, I mean, because like Eddie Murphy was making an album and Bruce Willis like, why not me? And
he also had a cartoon called like Kid Bruno.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Kid Bruno.
Where he was like a secret agent. But he's also a kid.
Let me play some of this for you.
1, 2, 3, hit it, boys.
Because he really wanted to be that guy, right? I want to go out on the road and play the harmonica on it. Yeah.
Hit it, boys.
Hit it, boys.
May I take your order?
Okay.
Burn the rocks, splash the water.
I don't hate this.
Right up.
Here's what I want. And I think we could raise a lot of money doing this. I want him to re-record this album in his current state.
No, we don't make him do that.
When I make him, you think he'd want to. He's been, you know, he had a diagnosis with aphasia, and then he gets an even worse diagnosis. He's got full-on dementia or something like that. Mm-hmm. Take that time to really draw attention to that condition, right? Like Michael J. Fox has done with Parkinson's for 25, 30 years. As Bruce Willis can re-record The Return of Bruno in his current state. And people will go, oh, my God, this is
hasn't he suffered enough?
Simultaneously unlistenable
he finally
and
gets
inspiring.
Dementia. Yeah, but he finally gets dementia, gets to forget about this, and then you want to bring it back up?
Well,
or what if they go on tour, and he's like, here's a new one, and he just plays the same song the whole set?
Stop. You guys are mean.
No, I'm not. I'm saying, like, he's not going to go on tour. It's to draw attention to it. People only pay attention to celebrities. Celebrity gets sick. That is the opportunity to draw attention to that condition because they're on borrowed time.
1, 2, 3, hit it, boys. All right, here comes our next one. 1, 2, 3, hit it, boys.
Hey, Sean.
Yes.
What's up? Hello,
Hello,
Sean.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you? Yes, sir.
Hey, great. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Hate the show.
Thank you.
So I have a question about an album. I've kind of been waiting to call on this to like not interrupt the show, but since you guys are talking about music albums right now, I figured it was a good time to call.
Okay.
Okay, so it was an album that came out in the early 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. It was a symphony orchestra. There's no singing in it, and there was like an angel on the front of the tape cover. It would have been back then.
Okay.
Do you have any knowledge of anything
He's asking you
like
what
that?
it is.
Oh, I don't. I mean, that doesn't.
Are you asking us to Google something for you?
That does not ring any bells with me, Sean.
Okay, I've tried to Google it a million different ways. I've tried to ask everybody.
An album, yeah, I don't. No, that doesn't immediately spring to mind. I'm not sure what that.
It was actual like orchestra music.
So it was a symphony orchestra. It was kind of like dark, gloomy, I want to say. Like on the inside of the tape cover, it said, "This album may take you to a place you've never been before." So it was kind of like, I don't want to say like acid rock, but it was like trippy type of music, so to speak, but it was a symphony orchestra.
No, maybe somebody will tell me, but that does not ring in any bells.
Okay, it was worth a shot.
Sorry, Sean.
Wait, what did it say on the inside of the cover again?
This album may take you to places you've never been.
Right.
All right. I mean, hopefully every album can do that. I mean, don't have to.
Not AC/DC. I'm taking the same place every time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Consistency.
I am going to take a break. If you want to go to that Clutch show, I'll have those tickets for you coming back. Clutch are back for an outdoor gig this time. They're going to do Jacobs Pavilion at Nautica Sunday, May 14th. I'm going to go see them. I'll hook you up coming back. And then another chance for you to grab some money. $1,000, another keyword to go fund yourself on the way at 4:30.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app and your